Now for this lab, which is to configure Windows 10 VPN, we have a scenario where an organization plans to allow Windows 10 users to connect to an internal network by using a VPN client built into the operating system, the one that comes with it. And before the VPN infrastructure is implemented, we need to evaluate the VPN connectivity in a kind of small test environment here. So what we'll be doing here is we'll configure the remote access on a Windows Server 2012 R2. Then we'll enable remote access for an Active Directory user account. And then the last thing we'll do in this exercise is configure a test VPN connection on a Windows 10 computer. So for exercise 1, we want to install the remote access server role on a Windows Server 2012 R2 machine. And you'll see here we're logged on as ADatum administrator. And our usual password, capital P, A, $, W0RD. We want to go to Server Manager. Let's select Add Roles and Features. And here we want to click Next. Now we want to ensure here that the role-based or feature-based installation option is selected. And it is, so Next. Here we want to click on Next as well, but we want to make sure that the local server has been selected, and it is. Here we want to select Remote Access and click Next. Next again. And here we want to enable the Direct Access and VPN RAS checkbox and click Next. Here we want to click on Add Features. Click Next. And here we want to confirm the installation. We just want to click on Install. And that installation takes about 8 minutes or so. So that sets us up for the next task, where we configure routing and remote access on the Windows Server 2012 R2 machine. Now we're ready to configure routing and remote access on our Windows Server 2012 R2 machine. And so we want to switch over to Server Manager. And here we want to click on Open the Getting Started wizard. Here we want to click on Deploy VPN Only. Let's right-click on the local server node for LON-DC1. And we want to select Configure and enable routing and remote access. Here we want to click on Next. Here we want to select the custom configuration and click Next. Now make sure you select the VPN access checkbox and go ahead, click Next. And here we can click Finish. Start the service for routing and remote access. And let's right-click on the node that represents our LON-DC1 server. And let's select Properties. Let's click on the Security tab. Click on Authentication Methods. And let's go ahead and just take a quick note of what the default authentication methods are that are enabled here. We have Extensible Authentication Protocol, or EAP. And we also have Microsoft Encrypted Authentication version 2, that's MSCHAP v2. So let's go ahead and click on OK. Now let's go to the IPv4 tab. And here we want to select the Static Address Pool option. Click Add. And in the new IPv4 address range, we want to enter the following. For the start IP address, we want 192.168.0.1. For the end IP address, we want to enter 192.168.0.255. And to get out of here, we just need to click on OK a couple of times. Now let's expand that IPv4 node, and we want to select General, and right-click here where it says Ethernet, and select Properties. And we want to uncheck or disable the Enable IP Router Manager checkbox. And to close out the task, let's go ahead and click on OK. Now we're ready for the next task, the third task, where we enable remote access for an Active Directory user account. Okay, for task 3, we're going to enable remote access for an Active Directory user account. And while we're logged on to our Windows Server 2012 R2 machine, we want to launch the Active Directory Administrative Center. And go ahead and expand on ADATEM Local. And let's double-click on the user's organizational unit. Let's select the administrator account and click Properties over here. And here we want to scroll down to the Extensions section and click the Dial-In tab. And here we want to select Allow Access and then click OK. And so what have we done in this exercise? We've installed and configured remote access on a Windows Server 2012 R2 machine, as well as enabled remote access for an Active Directory user. And we're set up for the next exercise where we go ahead and configure and test a VPN connection on our Windows 10 computer.